Welcome to CMMC Unacknowledged, where we answer the unanswered questions that were asked during the monthly CMMC-AB Townhall meetings. My name is Todd Stanton. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for all things CMMC at Etactics, and as always, I'll be joined by Ty Wittenberg. Ty is the Senior Information Assurance Manager at Rain Associates. Welcome, Ty.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited about our conversation today. All right, Ty, our question for this episode is, with rulemaking still expected to occur sometime between July of 2022 and December 2023, and DoD expecting all contracts post-rulemaking to include these new CMMC requirements, what do you see as the biggest logistical challenges that the AB is facing?
So from an AB side of things, and I won't even get into the DoD side just yet, let's start with the AB. We're still as a member of the organization, as a registered provider, as a registered practitioner in a registered provider organization and a certified third-party assessor candidate. The reality is there's not enough assessors, especially for a DIBCAC that could be approximately 300, or not DIBCAC, excuse me, defense industrial base that could be roughly 300,000 organizations. There's not enough certified third-party assessor organizations yet. They're still going through that vetting process. As I just said, we're a candidate here at Ray. And then the reality is there's been a theme through several town halls, if you've listened with Matt Travis and team, that they're really trying to encourage more people to become members of this whole governance, risk, and compliance community, and really marketing for folks to become registered practitioners and organizations to become registered provider organizations, and recruiting for those folks that may not have considered it to become certified third-party assessors. So while there's organizations like myself and the other folks that are out there that are proactive and clearly interested in it, when you think of the numbers of folks that need to get assessed at level 2 or level 3, there's a bottleneck with the assessor and the RP group. And then, I think the other impact is, the organizations seeking certification in the DIB are just kind of still in this wait and see mode. And then the last part that really impacts this, not just from the CMMC-AB ecosystem, is, the DIBCAC clearly still is looking to recruit and hire assessors as well, too, to get up to capacity. So, this is a relatively large undertaking. And I think, some of the other elements of the rulemaking process will have some impact in here, with being able to ease some of that burden and getting people voluntarily assessed or pre-assessed. But I think I'm rambling here. But ultimately, in the end, there is clearly a need for assessors and registered provider organizations and registered practitioners in order to help service the DIB.
Well, I think your comment about the DIBCAC capacity, that's kind of where it starts, in my opinion. Without DIBCAC authorizing additional C3PAOs, do we have enough companies to manage the process of dealing with the quantity of organizations seeking certification that are expected starting at the end of 2023 and into 2024? I just did some quick math based on some of the projections that the DoD Office of Acquisition and Sustainment had done under CMMC 1.0. And they talked about 500 DoD contracts being solicited each year, with each contract having on average about 100 suppliers tied to it down the line after the prime. And so if you did the math on the DoD CIO call and said, okay, out of the 220,000 companies in the DIB, if 80,000 of those have access to CUI today, gives you a percentage roughly around 36%. So take 500 contracts in a year, right? So 2024, once CMMC is in place, 100 suppliers per contract. So now we've got 50,000 companies that are going to get contracts in 2024, and then 36% of those handling CUI, I came out with a number of roughly 18,000 DIB companies that would need a level 2 certification by the end of that year in 2024.
Right.
And then you look at the capacity. So, in the town hall, they talked about, 474 current C3POs. And I take that as, organizations that have submitted an application. I think if you look at the actual number of C3POs waiting for a DIBCAC assessment, it's probably about half that. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say 474. If you take that 18,000 divided by 474, it came out to about 35, 40 customers that the C3POs would have to assess within that year. So let me just ask you, if that was the number, do you think that a typical C3PO could handle 35 or 40 OSC assessments per year? Is that realistic?
That's a really good question. I work for an organization that also is accounting, and they do assurance work. And so, insurance engagements with staff that take several weeks to do, we clearly do more than 35 in a year. I believe that it's possible, but a lot of it still is contingent on what else will come out of the rulemaking for CMMC. So we already know what the expectations are around the federal acquisition regulations and the DFARS regulations are, but what elements of complexity will be added with the new ruling?
Mm-hmm. I know that you guys are in this queue as well as a candidate C3PO, so perhaps some light will be shed as you guys continue on through that process and let us know how it goes. So
sure.
Thank you for your input on that question, Ty. Until next time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.